to make what you are doing successful, coach. And that is
Yes.
something I would, I would want us to just to get into, because it's difficult right now with a lot of the Caribbean teams where they have the same issues. Right now, you have guys who are working in factories and working on their feet for 8 hours, and then they have to come and play soccer, and one is expecting them to come and really perform. But that is difficult when you're standing on your feet in a factory for 8 hours and you're coming to play soccer in the evening, coach. So if you can get into some of the structures, and I know you discuss it with terms of getting to adopt a player where companies now get involved, so it becomes a country affair.
True.
Yeah.
Reality.
So if you could go into some more information pertaining to that, coach, that'll be good, because we have some viewers here who are on the different soccer associations in the Caribbean region. And this adopt a player, coach, if you could go into some more information on it to enlighten us so we could glean on it, coach.
Great, Anthony. I will try to explain a little bit about this idea.
Yes.
So by the time, um, as I said to you, we fight. I remember Captain Burrell and Coach Simões and myself and everybody that was involved there. I see here in the photo Chico Santos. Chico Santos was our goalkeeper trainer. He has been there with us with Warren Barrett, Aaron
Mhm.
Lawrence. He was responsible for Andre Blake, some of those goalkeepers that Jamaica built back in the time. He was responsible for that.
Yes.
And Anthony, I can tell you that the idea was because day by day we feel the difficult to receive players in the end of the day, tired, without a
Mhm.
proper nutrition, without a proper structure to be trained, you know. And we said we had to do something to get the country involved in the dream that we have, because of course back in 90, 96, 95, 96, if you say that you want to qualify any Caribbean country to the World Cup, they will call you crazy, you know. And we were called crazy, we were called crazy because um, I can remember training Peter Cargill alone in the yard of the player's house, and he say, "Hey, you're crazy because you are doing something. You are putting cities in a rock solid, but
Mhm.
we believe that we could do something different. And then came with the idea to get the country involved in that. And we had some companies already, as I said to you, American Airlines and some hotels over there. We have Grace and Kennedy on board with nutrition support. Dr. Little White, Heather Little White was with us, and she died years ago, but she was wonderful in that area, and she accept by the time the help from a nutritionist from Brazil, because she was wonderful, but she had no experience with professional athletes or soccer athlete or football athletes. So, and the Jamaicans, they were really mind open to accept the helps to for someone that has culture in their vein, as you said, has football in their vein, as you said. So was wonderful. And then this idea came from Coach Simões to involve more companies in that. And there was something amazing. What Coach put in his mind is that, listen, I go for one company, for a car company, a rent a car company, and say, listen, here is Tapa Whitmore. here is Walter Boyd, and we would like that you come on board with the national program and adopt him to be a professional, full-time professional player in the national program. And the guy will give back to you some hours of his person or his image to be announcing your product, helping with some kind of advertisement for your program. And this was something amazing, Anthony. We didn't know if this gonna work, but we say we have to do something, and then we did, and was something amazing, you know, because it works very well. We had to put in players' mind to telling them, listen, now you have a responsibility with the national program as a professional player, and you have a responsibility with your sponsor. Your image is in there, so you have to sell this image. So you have to be a better professional. You have to be on time. You have to follow the instruction to 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 follow the nutrition program that is in place to you, the physical training, the mental training. So everything was possible to be put in place to help the players develop the mentality, develop the skills that they have, but they didn't have a structure and they didn't have time enough to do it. So now, as a professional player, of course, they have to give something back to the companies. So free times, sometimes when they want to rest, they want to take time, they have to be there. So, but any professional player around the world, they are doing that, if you see that, you know, so they have to, they are in Barcelona, they have compromise with UNICEF or something, or any company that are involved with team. So works really well. The companies jump together, they start to dream together, they start to involve themselves with the national program. And I can tell you that one thing that we miss, that was to spread this opportunity to the youth program. You know, in the time we have to keep it, or kept it that in the seniors team, because this of course was the main purpose that we were there, you know. But can tell you that was really nice, and really nice, you know. And then as I said to you, you know, that involved in this program, I had to be in charge of the preparation of the team. This is what gave me a lot of experience to be working, program the guys, testing them. We had the opportunity to take doctors. In the time we don't have a physiologist with the team, but we came to Brazil, we hired someone. Frequently he was going to Jamaica, or when we come to Brazil for a camp in Brazil, he was testing the players, he was directing our preparation all the time. This was give me this kind of experience. This was give me, as I said to you, once Coach Simões had to step a little bit beside to be focused in helping the administration direction, I was there involved 100% on the field preparation. This was something that gave me this kind of experience, you know. I believe that we are running out of our 45 minutes, you know, half time,
Yes,
you know.
yes,
But
yes,
there
yes.
is some
You,
point that I would like to touch as well, you know.
yes, 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 yes. Quite interesting, Coach. Quite interesting. For the information you shared us was just totally outside the box thinking.
Yeah.
In terms of what you guys did in Jamaica to get that team ready, and how you guys worked out those strategies to get the country involved, to get the businesses involved, to get the average man on board, to get Jamaica going, because we at the outside looking in, you know, we weren't aware of these things, of the
Yeah.
groundwork you guys were laying, the foundation you were laying so that team can perform on the soccer field the way they did. Coach, I would like to switch now because as you know, if you were to do a survey, you will find out just about out of every 10 persons you will meet in the world, 5 or 7 is Brazilians, supporters of the Brazilian team. Give us some information about the atmosphere, coach, in Brazil. We were talking just now about, Flamengo and some of these teams playing in some of these finals, and we can see the passion, on television. Me being in the World Cup, watching the World Cup, because I visited Germany in 2006 and past, where I saw there's thousands of Brazilians celebrating, and Brazil was playing 2 days after, and they were celebrating like Brazil is going to go on the field, coach, in Germany.
Yeah, Anthony, I can tell you that I would like to see some research or about what happened with this pandemic situation, because what happened when you see games to be playing with an empty stadium, and you go back to see games playing with a full stadium, the atmosphere and the performance of the players, to me, without any kind of research, I believe that someone is looking for that. I would like to see the difference of the performance we have with an empty stadium and another performance with a full stadium. So when we play, as you said about the passion, when we in Jamaica, we played in Goiânia against Flamengo, because Flamengo is from Rio de Janeiro, okay? But Flamengo has fans in everywhere in Brazil, every single where. So what Flamengo did, Flamengo brought back Romário in the time, and Jamaica were doing a camp in Brazil, and we were invited to play the game to celebrate the return of Romário to Flamengo.
Okay.
So can you imagine this experience for our players in Jamaica? So, listen, it's crazy. The stadium was full, a stadium for 80,000 people, in Goiânia, was full. Romário just came back from Europe, Romário was to be, he was the guy to be, he was in doubt if he was going to be called to the national team or not, because Ronaldo was you remember that in 98 he didn't get picked to the national team. So the coach chose Ronaldo, Edmundo, and Rivaldo, another strikers, they were there, but he didn't call Romário,
Right.
But Romário was the man of 94. You remember that?
Yes, yes.
So the atmosphere is that. This is how we see football, as I was telling you. Football, we look like a religion, There is no in between. You have it from Rio de Janeiro, Flamengo, Vasco, Botafogo, and Fluminense. 4 big teams in Rio de Janeiro. You have another 4 big teams in São Paulo that they are Palmeiras, Corinthians, São Paulo, and Santos. And I was telling you that right now in São Paulo, there is no game, there is no derby that involved 2 fans in the same stadium. This was before pandemic situation. Of course, now it's empty. But before that, because of the violence and everything, because there is no in between, we as a professionals that are involved, stakeholders, we are professionals in football, we understand that rivals, they are there to growing the two, to help the two teams to grow. So what happened? São Paulo doesn't exist without Palmeiras because of this competition they have between each other. São Paulo beat Palmeiras yesterday after 12 years in the regional, in the state competition, and the coach today, 2 weeks ago, he was in heaven, and today, after he lost 2 competitions in the penalty kick and lost to São Paulo yesterday, he's in hell because the fans, they don't care what the achievement you have in, and this is why I believe we live that up and down or going in coaches in Brazil. The Brazilian National Association, the CBF now, they are trying to change this mentality, So for the next Brazilian championship that starts in May, they are putting one rule that the club can change only one coach per season. So the season of 2001, if the Flamengo team starts with one coach and the coach don't work good, or if don't work out what they have in mind, or the results don't come for him, they can change just one coach. So this is something that the federation are putting in rules now. So let's see if it's gonna work. Let's see if it's gonna help, because I can't imagine it. I remember back in 1996, we played the Caribbean Cup in Jamaica,
Yes.
And we were doing a big change in the team. We have some old players involved in the national program that they have a different mentality. They were not open to a new mind, a new set of mentality, and then we put them aside and we start to build the team with under 23 and new set of players, to think in 98, to think about the qualification to 98. So we lost the Caribbean Cup in Jamaica, and I can tell you, man, was a big pressure in the Brazilian staff in this time, especially, of course, with Coach Simões, that were the technical director, And then I remember in memory, of course, Captain Bruel came in and said to the press, listen, I hired the coach, and I believe that is like to go in a doctor. So if I go to the doctor and he gave me a prescription, for treat myself in 1, 2 months, 3 months, and I have to take the medicine, I have to go until the end of prescription to see if the doctor is right or wrong. So you are asking me to change the staff? I will not, because I hired the staff to qualify the team to the World Cup in France. So I go with them into the end of the qualification. I will follow the prescription, And this was something that I never forgot in my life.